Hello. Okay, let's adjust my goats. There. Okay. Hello. Haunted hydration. Spilled on myself, and luckily it's just sparkling water, but it's already raining outside. I don't need more water inside. Hi. Hi, Amaris. Good to have you here. I didn't have time to light my incense beforehand, so we're doing it now. My matches are just about out, so luckily I have one of these now. Okay, good. Oh yeah. It's fairy dreams. Yeah, how is that going? It's exciting to see how your pregnancy is going, and like, you know, I'm glad I get to share this part of your life in, you know, as a distant online friend. So are we ready for the reveal of which lace project I chose? Looking for the working edge. Remember the curtains? I thought since I did at least some of the Lost Souls last time, I'll do this one this time. It's funny, at first I had this side motif is almost like the Lost Souls side motif. It's 2 double crochet, then, well, first I was doing, according to the chart I found, which was 2 doubles, chain 2, and then two more double crochet, but I kept only doing 1 chain 1 in between, because that's how the Lost Souls is, and I thought, well, it'd be a lot easier to just go ahead and switch them both to be the same, and I don't want to switch the Lost Souls one because that's a commission, so I'll just switch this one. I don't think it's made a difference, so that actually makes it faster for me, because I don't have to think about it as much. Your husband's excited about it. He was picking girls and boys names. Like, dude, can we wait till I'm 5 months, please? Yeah. Well, has he picked any names that you like or don't like? My mom has tons of baby name books, so all of our birth names are very unusual. Me and my 4 sisters. Actually, I kept my birth middle name. It's one of my 3 middle names now. It's Tamsin, T-A-M, Oh, the notification was for someone who subscribed. Thank you. Yeah, Tamzyn. I always, as a kid, I always enjoyed the looks on people's faces when I would I would say the first three letters, and that's normal. Tamsin, Tam, you kind of expect that. Then I'd be like, Zyn, and they'd be like, what? So, since people were always mispronouncing and misspelling my birth name, it was like one of the few times I was like, well, now I get to have fun. It's nice because my both the chosen names I use now, both my legal name, which is Sterling, and my name that I use here and just like in most of my life, which is Thorn, are very hard to misspell. There is a city in Scotland, I think, called Stirling with an I instead of an E, so weirdly enough, my grandmother does tend to misspell my name. Well, I think that both of them do it, but they also are not great with acceptance of my gender and name. So I'm like, well, that kind of fits with the rest of what they do. So yeah. Oh, but yeah, let me know what you're working on or just hanging out. One thing that I can't make the same as my other project is the number of chains in between. Like, all of these are 5, whereas for the Lost Souls there are 3. And these are also loops of 5 chains. So yeah, I love the pineapple lace pattern. It's just so... I love pointy lace, and this is like... It has pointies inside the lace pattern, which is perfect. Oh, hi, Winter. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and have fun at the store. I will only be on an hour, so I don't know if I'll be back here when you get back, or if you'll be tired. But yeah, thanks for saying hi. When I go to the store, because I have to walk, I'm like, I'm just gonna get in bed now. Oh no. Yeah, that is rough. I hope you find something that you can eat safely and like to eat. Oh, good. Yay. Well, we're glad to have you for however long you stay. Oh no. Go down. I really need to put some kind of stiff rod in his neck, because he cannot he's just very unsteady. Maybe I need to put a bendable wire in there so I can pose him a bit. Yeah, that's rough. Well, I am sending spooky, witchy vibes with my cauldron. Yeah, I was just now thinking, like, I have these paper clips which are pretty easy to unbend, so I could try that. And they're metallic purple, so he would have a shiny purple spine. which seems to fit the night goat, the rest of his look. His feet came out totally uneven, both in size and where I put them. So at some point I just kind of accepted it. He's gonna be a bit wonky, and that is fine. You can't expect a night goat based on a pattern inspired by Black Phillip and named after an ancient moon god to be normal. I say named after, but I get this sense from my gods that there's really no difference between Minos the god and Minos the goat. A lot of times in my practice I have learned that like things that I consider separate and different, or would have growing up at least, are actually kind of like, instead of either or, it's both and. It's been interesting learning about the differences between either or cultures and worldviews, which tends to be more the mainstream US and probably other Western countries' view, and like the both and worldview, which tends to be what my gods operate in more, it seems like. So sometimes I'm like, but is it this or this? And they just look at me like, yes, it's both. I feel like gender is one area where we are starting to see that understanding of the world, which is nice. Where it's not one thing or a different thing, it's kind of, there can be multiple things going on at once. Hi, Draka. How are you? You can see I decided on the pineapples. These were going to be curtains at first, but I don't actually know what they're going to be, so we'll find out. I'm cooking some soup and finishing up a basket. Cool. Are you like weaving the basket or crocheting it? I also love different methods of basket making. Oh yeah, that is true, Winter. My thing earlier was purposefully a bit simplified, but could be both, or nothing, especially in terms of gender. But like there are lots of options other than for that, and also other parts of the world I've started to learn there are lots of options other than A or B. Also, do tell us what kind of soup. I've started to cook more recently, and it's like for someone who never really had the ability to or the confidence to cook and feed myself in a way that felt like I was getting the things that I need, like it's just so fun and empowering to learn to cook. It doesn't mean I always want to do it, but it's, it's nice. Hi, hi Sean and Chino. Hope I said your name right. How are you? So busy talking about soup, I forgot to switch back to blue. Yeah, a bit hard when everything I ever see about my ancestors' culture is pretty much very strictly male or female. Yeah, remind me, your ancestors' culture is like, I want to say Eastern European or Nordic? But yeah, that's hard because a lot of times, like, I feel like there probably is a really ancient understanding of gender as not just a binary thing, but maybe that's even before the Iron Age, and I think we have most of the writing from the Iron Age or after, so like when things are written down, they're written in that binary, maybe more patriarchal understanding. At least this is my understanding. I can't say for sure that this is true or like give you sources, but that's my impression of how things seem to be. So yeah. Yeah, it's definitely hard when you don't feel like you can see yourself as, like, see space for you. That's why representation is important. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm glad to know that I pronounced your name correctly. Cool. Yeah. I'm quite often in Alt-Not's lives. I love their live stream community that they've built, and that's one reason why I started streaming, because I was like, okay, so that's a good way to build a really vibrant community, which is something that I want as well. So, I'm also going to try to show up regularly and encourage people to make friends, and yeah. Okay, yeah, Slavic, cool. Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's not that I can't see myself, it's the fact that specific genders have very specific rules related to witchcraft, and it's kind of sacred, so people can't pick and choose. Yeah, that is rough. Because, like, of course we want to respect the sacred things that a culture has. I mean, at least I do as an outsider to that culture, but also, like, there are people that don't fit in that culture, so what do they do? So yes, I am making that's a good question. It was going to be curtains. It's a pineapple lace pattern. This is some blue linen that I got. Just dropped that ball of yarn. From Ice Yarns, I think, and this is from a box, the like grab bag of yarn that my friend sent me. I forget what exactly this purple yarn is, but it's gorgeous, and like it's very I forget the name for it. It's like thick and thin yarn. So some parts are very tiny, and then other parts are more fluffy and thick, and just has a really interesting texture. So yeah, it was going to be curtains. I don't know if it's going to be curtains now, but I'm just going to make it as large as it needs to be, probably at least to the end of this ball of yarn. So, and I love how this is wound. Like it's almost a shame to unwind it. It's got that nice diamond pattern, but that's what we have to do. I wish there was a non-gendered space, or that I could have a different marginal role, but yeah, that wouldn't be aligned with the traditions anymore, though. Yeah, that's... I feel you. So I'm kind of torn between orienting my practice towards my origins or keeping it eclectic. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to... Sometimes it can take time to decide what to do with that. With isn't exactly the same, but with my patron god, Gwen Apneve, a lot of times I feel a tension between the ways that he's traditionally understood in Wales and the ways that I've been asked to see him just by, like, nothing I can really point to from the lore, just like from personally talking to him. And of course I can't prove that, but I'm like, well, I'm like, I want to be respectful towards the Welsh culture, especially since I am not Welsh myself, but also like I need to go with what my god that I've made vows to ask me to do. So it can be kind of a tricky balance sometimes. Yeah, speaking of yarn, as you may have seen on the screen, the thumbnail, I was torn between this one or the Lost Souls project, but I did Lost Souls last time in between showing my yarn, so thought I would switch to this one. It has been a while since I've had this one on camera. Like, I started it during a live stream, but that was a few months ago, I feel like. Let me know what y'all are making or crafting on. One of the things I'm excited about now that I've finished the graphic I was doing for my friend Ruby, is that I can start my second graphic that I've been planning for me. So that's the one that's going to be double wide, because I'm doing a couple of different portraits that I made of me at different times in my trans and pagan journey. So and I've already done like 5 rows, which is a surprisingly fast amount considering it's twice as wide, but the first 5 rows tend to go fast because it's a new project, and you have the border first, which is mostly just one color. Then you get into the weeds with like 2 gold, 1 green, 4 white. You're just like, ah. Oh. Well, I heard, I think that I saw that you were doing other types of crafts, like your cross stitch haunted mansion. Yeah, it can be tough to want to do much when you feel like nothing is really going forward. I felt that way a lot in my previous house. Well, I hope that you can maybe take the time off from crafting that you need. It can be hard though when like you don't feel like doing something, but you don't have something else that you want to do. So it's like, how am I going to pass the time? Someone told me, you're going to work on it while you watch this person's stream, right? And then pathological demand avoidance got triggered. Oh no. Yeah, that sucks. Sounds like someone to avoid right before a stream. But I'm sure that there will be other chances to either do that or something else. It's like suddenly no desire to do it anymore. Yeah. Plus, it was like 9 in the morning. I don't do early mornings. Yeah, that's a bit early. Sometimes with time zones for things on the East Coast, since I'm in the Pacific time zone, I'm just like, okay, this person is doing things at maybe 10 a.m. for them, but it would be 7 a.m. for me, and I don't think I can get up and sit on Zoom at that time of day. I have done it for things that I like a lot. Like my friend Vivian had she for a few years she ran some some pagan Zoom conferences, and they started at 10, and then at one point I was doing the 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 opening devotional, which was before the first class. Sorry, the first class was at 10, but that was 10 Eastern time, and so I had to get up at like to be ready for that at 6:30, and I was like, I was there. I wanted to do that, but yeah, now I'm also like not really able to do that most mornings. So it's not just you. And like sometimes you don't realize how long or how much energy you've been putting into something until it suddenly just runs out. I'm not sure if that's like a neurodivergent thing or. But sometimes it is hard for me to realize when I'm like going to need a break soon. Sometimes it's just like, oh, you need to stop now. Yeah, I was thinking that you would probably know. It definitely is a neurodivergent thing, right? Yeah, I was thinking it sounded like autism burnout, and it's rough because we can't always feel the signs the same way that allistic people can. I'm going to untangle this before it gets into a problem. Since I'm switching colors but not cutting the yarn, then it tends to like twist around if I don't take care with it. Yes, that's true. Sometimes we don't know what's happening until it's too late. Yeah. And something interesting that my friend said was that they have learned that sometimes you feel like you're getting over burnout, but that's really just like the first sign of healing, but you still have to kind of rest and take it easy. I'm gonna get my blue yarn. Oh, good. It wasn't as far under the desk as last time I saw it. I guess it got pulled back by the string. There's so much yarn on thin, like fine weights of yarn have so much. It's wild. Whereas big skeins of yarn are just like, or thick yarn, just like you blink and it's gone. it kind of makes me think of how you would think that. So one of my special interests is astronomy and the lifetimes of stars, and you would think that a big star, since it has more fuel, would last longer, but the bigger a star is, the faster it burns up. So the tiny stars actually last for a long time, and there are stars that we think they're like, I'm not sure if they found any dead red dwarf stars, because those are expected to last for way longer than the universe has been around so far. So yeah. Oh yeah, the resurgence of energy is temporary in those cases. It takes a bit longer to recover usually. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I hear the scampering of the corgi. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that you find it cool, because I love to chat about things like that, like astronomy. Oh, cool. I'm glad that you also like it. So, I am a fan of space, and a lot of my decor and like one of the yarns I'm planning, like I'm going to finish one thought at a time. A lot of my like if I can't find a pattern or something for like a phone case that I want to go with, then I'll just default to like the space patterns, like the ones that look like the pictures from the Hubble and James Webb. And oh, that's cool. Neat. So the moon doesn't actually affect the tides, the Earth's rotation does. I feel like it's probably both, right? Because like you have, well, yeah, I feel like I'm not I don't know enough about the moon and the tides to talk about that, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So I feel like the more we learn about things in general, the more it's like, wow, that's really complicated. I feel like the mark of knowing more about things is when you start to think, this is I don't actually know a single thing about this. Like that's when you I would trust the knowledge of someone who seems to know a lot but says that they don't actually know a lot, because then they probably know how much they don't know, and know what their own limitations are. The thing is, the gravitational force of the moon is not actually as strong as we think it is. But one thing is for sure: the moon is powerful. Energy-wise, yeah, that's true. I'm hoping to do a colorway for the moon, and also I have one planned that's going to be called First Star. So I was hoping to do that, well, yesterday, but then I went shopping and I was tired. Then today, but it's going to be raining all day probably, so I'll probably just wait till Wednesday when it's supposed to be sunny for a few days. Yes, that is true. The more we learn, the less we know. But I'm still thinking about what colors I would do for the moon. Are there things that you would like to see for a moon colorway? It may not be colors I have yet, but I could like put them on my list for the next round of buying dye. One of my favorite operas is the Rusalka, just because of Song to the Moon. Ooh, that I haven't heard of that, but that sounds awesome. Moon and Stars yarn sounds cool. Thank you. Yes, I'm hoping it will be. I also have at least one colorway planned for the ocean. And I think I can do that with the dye that I have. But besides that, I also want to do a few more skeins of the colorways that I've had, the red and blue. Silver grayish with the speckles. Yeah, that could work. Like, I feel like I should get some white dye maybe, because the actual yarn is off-white. I'm not sure I'm ready to paint craters on it. But yeah, the actual yarn is off-white, so it's not really, like, if I wanted to do a transition from black to white with gray, that I would kind of need a white dye also. Time zone. I am the Pacific. Yes. I'm in California. So it's currently 11:42 a.m. A colorway I don't see but I think would be fun is a brown, purple, blue, but it's hard to explain the shades that I see in my head. Yeah, that would be cool. It kind of makes me think of a gemstone. Sarah and I were thinking, half jokingly but not actually, we were thinking someone should make a spud yarn, so maybe that could be part of the spud colorway. Oh, you're in the UK, cool. I have a few friends over there. So I'm guessing it's like early evening, around 7. I've gotten used to like thinking of the time zones in the places where my friends are. Yes, like a geode. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to add that to the list of things that I might have to do in the future. I want more nature-themed colorways. I need to up my game in that department. Yeah. One, like, it's hard because there's so many colorways I want to do, but like there's like the witchy pagan colorways and the space and other nature themed. Then I also want to do a lot of spooky goth colorways because I want to be the person that is, well, at least one of the people that folks know they can go to for goth yarn all year round. Then also I want to do some queer pride colorways, but like all of that takes time to kind of get up. But it's already a step forward that I'm doing the SP thingy in black sage green. Nice. Witchy pagan colorways, yes. Okay, so I was close. 7:48 p.m. And spooky goth, queer witch in space, and all of them. Yeah, the time zone thing is actually one reason why I have one live in the morning for me and one in the evening, because I know that evening live streams in Pacific time zones are extremely difficult for people in the UK and Europe to come to if they want to, and even on the in the other time zones in the US and Canada, it's like you have to kind of do it in the early evening, or it starts to get too late. So so that's why I have options. Okay, so you need to do a rainbow on a black night sky with golden speckles to match all the themes. Yeah. Speckling is a technique I will have to learn. It's probably not that hard, I just don't know how to do it yet. So, but it was actually really cool to learn how to keep the yarn on, keep only the dye that I wanted on the yarn that I wanted it to be on. Like I would hold one end of the yarn up and only put part of it in the pan, and then like squirt the dye on that. Then when it was time to put it in the bag to just sit, I put a separate bag over the light end of the skein. So, ooh, deep burnished gold, yeah. I'll have to try that. I haven't actually tried my yellow dye yet. I got one of each primary color to kind of hope that I could. I'm not sure if dyes work the same way as like the color wheel tells me they should, but like I was like, well, if I have red, yellow, and blue, I could combine them to see if I make other colors. But yeah. Have I done a waffle stitch? I don't think so, but I have heard of that stitch. Hey, chat. Hey. You take a paintbrush dipped in the color and you spray it. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So like paintbrush and then just flick. Yeah. And there are other methods too in bottles with more sprinkly nozzles, or you can drip it. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm so glad that I bought the syringes, because those make it so much easier to be more precise with where the dye goes, and I can even like put the syringe inside to get like I did that with some of the red and blacks. If the black was on the outside but it hadn't really gotten to the inside of the yarn, I'd go, okay, well, let's put some red in there. Squirt. Okay, so yeah, you've done some bleaching with and clothes dyeing. I love the deeper golds too, and yes, I will definitely be doing sparkly yarns. I have to find a base that has the sparkle, because I think that's often like a tinsely strand held with the main yarn. I think I think the material's called, that I've seen used, is called Lurex, and you can get it in different colors, but I'm just not sure where to find a base of undyed yarn with that yet. So I'll have to do some research, but definitely. Okay, yeah, that's sounds like a good, sounds like the waffle stitch is a good stitch for just kind of zoning out. Yes, I will definitely be doing a lot of sparkly yarns. What is the goat colorway going to be? That purple brown would be great for that, or blacks, browns, and grays. Yes. Ooh, there's a piercing jewelry color called blurple. It's a really pretty color. I'm wearing that in my septum right now. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I will definitely have to make a goat color. If you don't mind me using the inspiration of the geode color, I could kind of think about if that becomes a goat color. I'm not promising that this will happen soon, but like, it's true that we need a goat color, I think. Oh yeah, you had mentioned that song about blue. I love it when I see people using that, like, goat as in greatest of all time, because I'm like, yes, the goat. Like, so and so is the goat. I'm like, yes, the goat. That would be so sweet. I love it. Oh, cool. Yeah. So, brown, blue, and purple. I'll think about whether I probably have to get purple and brown at some point. But yeah, cool. Don't have my new Death Wish coffee yet, but hopefully soon. It did ship, so I especially want to try the blueberry vanilla. Yes, goats are the greatest of all time. The goatest of all time. The goat, as in the goat of all time. It's it's like one of those acronyms where the first word is just the acronym. Those those it make me laugh. Let's see if I can finish this row right quick, because I only have this much, and then I will have to let y'all go. But it has been great chatting. I'm really happy that you came out and hung out. Chatted about yarn and watched me make pineapples. Pineapples. be careful with the vowels. Anyway. And that would be kind of a cool colorway to have as the goat one, because we have blue and brown, so it's kind of both. Oh, right, the llama. Well, I'm glad you finished the llama, and maybe at least they understand what they've gotten themselves into. And the like, crocheting's awesome, but like, especially starting out with it with an amigurumi is gonna take some doing. Yeah, that makes sense. In an hour, the complete beginners were still working on the third round. Yeah. Ooh, the blue and brown look really goat together. Yes, they do. They look very goat. Speaking of, I should get out of here so that I can let my housemate get back to working on the herb dehumidifier. I think she has rosemary in there now. But yeah, thank you for coming. Have a good rest of the day or night. Goat bye. Oh yes, have a good time at this. Have a good time goating to the store. It's time to